Hey everyone, remember bipod swapping? Let me show you a clip on screen. Basically, what you used to be able to do is if you had a rocket with the perk bipod, bipod increases the total number of rockets you could get. So I believe aggressive rockets had something like 10 or 11 rockets, and then with bipod you would get like 16. So what you used to be able to do is you used to be able to rally on bipod and then swap perks, and because swapping perks doesn't count as like swapping your weapon, it would actually give you 16 full damage, surrounded, honing, whatever perk you wanted that was not bipod, rockets. So this increased the total damage of rockets effectively by like 40-50%. So that was patched. However, bipod swapping is still a little bit useful. For example, we use it in speedrunning. And the reason is, even though swapping from, bipod to a regular perk like surrounded or whatever, caps your reserves at the new perk's total rocket count. So that's 9 these days for aggressive and adaptive rockets. You can still make use of the fact that it doesn't count as swapping your weapon. So what do I mean by that? So let's say you're speedrunning, right? And you're running around, maybe use some sword ammo, right? You're doing an encounter. And let's say you want to swap to a rocket, right? If you swap to a rocket just like this, you'll see that I have bait and switch on right now. And you'll see that I get 4 rockets, right? It halves my ammo, basically. That's how heavy ammo conversion works. It halves your ammo, and I think it rounds down, right? So what if I wanted more ammo? Or what if I wanted to pick up ammo, and when I pick up the bricks, I get bipod amounts? Because the way bipod works is because it changes your total rockets to, let's say, 14, 15, 16, whatever it is. Whenever you pick up a brick, proportionally, the percentage of your reserves that gets filled up is different. It can be different depending on how much weapons you have. Sometimes it's the same. With scavs and stuff like that, you can get like 3 rockets per brick, right? Which is a lot. So let's say, I'm speedrunning, whatever it is, and I'm just running around, and I use some sword ammo, and I want to swap to rocket, but I want to have more ammo. So if I swap my rocket to bipod, watch this, right? I'm going to swap, and I have 6 rockets, right? Now, watch what happens when I swap perks. I got a bait and switch, boom, I still have 6 rockets, right? So because bipod does not reduce the amount of ammo that you have, it just reduces the ceiling to which how much ammo you have. This can be useful. So in speedrunning, it means you can essentially have more rockets when you swap off of a different heavy weapon. And what it also means is that when you pick up bricks on bipod, you can pick up bricks, get up to 3 rockets per brick, I believe. And then when you swap, you'll basically be able to fill up your entire rocket in like 3 bricks, which is really nice, right? Especially given that there's, different types of bricks like Xeno bricks and whatever. And that can definitely help with getting your ammo to be a lot more full. Now, this isn't necessarily game breaking because, speedrunners do this. It's just a quality of life thing, and rockets are not super meta or anything like that either. Now, the big reason why this isn't super like game breaking or anything is because heavy weapons, when you swap options, they have your ammo. They have your ammo when you swap heavy weapons. Special weapons, on the other hand, they don't do that, right? They try to maintain the same amount of ammo proportionally between special weapon types when you swap. Now, there's some rounding down, obviously, that occurs because different special weapons have different, ammo counts compared to their reserves, right? So you might have noticed we have a GL with bipod. We have a GL with bipod, right? Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Yeah. So there is a way to get infinite special ammo in this game now, okay? Let me show you exactly what it looks like. So I'm going to dump my rocket pulse reserves here. Forgive me for this little wait period. I'm going to dump right down to 3 out of 14 reserves left. And I want you to take a look at what happens here. Okay, so I have 3 out of 14 reserves, and I'm just going to swap between these 3 loadouts like this. And I have full ammo. Okay, so how does this work? Well, the reason this works is as follows. Okay, so the 3 loadouts I have is a trace, just a trace, can be any trace in the kinetic slot. I have a bipod Gizmo Weft, and then the same bipod Gizmo Weft on my 3rd loadout, except I've swapped the perk to bait and switch, but you can swap it to anything you want, right? And the reason this works is essentially as follows. Watch what happens here. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys in slow motion what happens. So I'm going to shoot a couple mint shots, right? We're going to get our mint out. And then you'll see here that my trace rifle has 338 out of like 450 or so total ammo, right? And then I swap to bipod, and you'll see I have 17 out of 25 ammo. And I swap here, I have 17 out of 20 ammo. Notice how the 17 number didn't change, but proportionally, the percentage of my total reserves has gone up effectively, right? And then I convert with some small rounding down to a trace. And you'll notice my ammo has gone up. And then I can keep doing this over and over and over and over and over, and I'm back to full ammo. Okay, so this is probably going to get patched because, it's an infinite ammo exploit. It's pretty cool though, you know, use it while it lasts, I guess, if you want. It's not that useful, to be honest. It's not insanely game breaking because like realistically during a day one, you're not going to like dump your mint until you have 3 left and then spend like, I don't know, 6 seconds just, you know, swapping loadouts in your inventory. I think this might be potentially more game breaking if there's a kinetic ammo option that is, you know, a bit more burst intensive, right? Where like you do a lot of burst damage and it expends your ammo very quickly. Also, because of rounding, and because of how Bipod works and, you know, reserves changing works, when you get to a low enough capacity, I've done some math here and I've you know, tested as well. If you go below 16% reserves on any special weapon, this no longer becomes possible. Okay, so 3 is the perfect number remaining on mint if you want to do this with mint. You'll notice here, as soon as I dumped it 2, I only have 3 ammo with Bipod, and I swap and I have 3. And then I swap back to my trace here. It has 72. And watch, I just keep swapping over and over and over. And my ammo doesn't go up. Okay, so you need to be above 16% or higher reserves in order to have this work. Okay, so yeah, that's basically it. I think if they're probably going to patch this. And if they do patch it, they're probably going to make it so Bipod, when you swap to a different perk, doesn't, you know, it like scales your reserve count down proportionally. Which kind of sucks because the rocket thing was kind of cool, I suppose. I mean, it still allows you to vacuum ammo on Bipod, I guess. No, not really, actually, even. Yeah, I don't know. I guess that would just make Bipod like a lot less useful. I mean, Bipod is not very meta right now. It's basically just used for this, for Bipod swapping on heavies. But I guess now it has a use on specials. But yeah, this is probably going to get patched, which kind of sucks because Bipod is really just used to have 2 in the mag on this gun and the speedrunning thing that I mentioned. But it is what it is. Anyways, have fun. Hope you guys have a good day. And yeah, see you guys around.